Okay, so we have kind of two types of multiplications. One's with the red, and the other one is with the blue. You'll notice here, when we have 2x times 5, our x's get quite large, 10x. Okay? But with the blue, they stay quite simple, because we have just 1 times x, or some number times x. Add these together, we're going to get 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. Where does this 10x come from in our diagram over on the left? Does it come from up here? Is this 10x? No. This section right here is 10x. How we get 10x is we have 2x right here, right? X and x. That gives us 2x. And the other dimension is 5. So really what we're doing to get that 10x is we are going 2x times 5 to give us the 10x. Okay, so we're looking at the dimensions of our length and our width. And that will tell us how many x's we have. Then we look over in this other section, because we always have x's in two sections. This one will be an x times a 1. What does x times 1 give us? Just simply x. Okay, so we have 10x here, we have x there, we add them up, 10x plus x, and that gives us 11x. Okay, so because of this arrangement, we had 10x's here. But today what we're going to see, we would call this arrangement of our 1 tiles a 5 by 1 arrangement. If we had a 1 by 5 arrangement, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be a 1 by 5 arrangement. Then we have totally different numbers of x's. Now we would simply have here 2x. And over here we would have 5x. That would give us what? 7. So now our arrangement of our 1 tiles makes a big, big difference. Is it 5 by 1 or 1 by 5? So now we got to be just a bit more careful with our 1 tiles. And that's because now we have 1, 2 x squared tiles. We have more than 1. It makes a bit of a difference. Okay. So let's just complete this here. 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. So when we're factoring that, now we're going to have numbers in front of our x's. Okay. So the arrangement of the 1 tiles makes a difference. What are the possible arrangements of 1 tiles? What could we have? 1 by 4, or 4 by 1, or 2 by 2. So those with tiles, you're in luck. This is going to be easy for you. What about 3x squared? What's the only arrangement we can have there? 1 by 3. Or 3 by 1. But we don't have to play around with those yet. Because there's only really one way to arrange 3, you don't have to worry about it. If we had like 10x squared, then it could be 1 by 10 or 2 by 5. But for 3, it's just 1 by 3. Okay? It's not going to be like our 1 tiles. So now you have to do process of elimination. Is it going to be 1 by 3 using 1 by 4, or 4 by 1, or 2 by 2? There's 3 different possible drawings to do. Go ahead, try them. If you have tiles, create them. Find your answers. Which combination will give you plus 8x? Which one did you guys want to start with? 1 by 4? Let's start with a 1 by 4. I'll just help you out with the first couple here. 1 by 4 is going to give you an x times 4 of 4x. Here we'll get 3x times 1, which will give you 3x's there. So, is that what you want? No, because 3x plus 4x, whoops, 4x, that equals only 7. So that combination doesn't work. You have to use this new device. It's called an eraser. And try your one tiles differently. Okay, so use that new device called eraser and try a 4x1 arrangement. Check your x's, see if that works. Is this one going to work? No, because here we get 12, right? 3x times 4, that gives us 12x. Here's 1x, that gives us a total of 13. So it's not 1 by 4, it's not 4 by 1. What else should we try? 2 by 2. So use your eraser or use your tiles, which would be easier for this, and do 2 by 2. So this would be x times 2 to give us 2x. This would be 3x times 2 to give us 6x. All together, what do we have? Yeah, 8x, and that's what we want. Okay. Now we have to get our factors. So our factors are on the outside. So here's an x. This is plus 2. And on the top, we have 3 x's, which is a lot longer than we're used to, and a plus 2. So you should write your factors here. X plus 2, 3x plus 2. And yeah, you could totally switch up the order, right? It's exactly the same to write 3x plus 2 first and then x plus 2 second, because it's exactly the same in the brackets. Okay, I kind of went quick there. How'd you guys do on that? Thumbs up down the middle, what would you say? Okay. It's going to get a little harder. Okay, they are going to get a little bit harder. Any questions? Do we have to worry about positive or negatives for this one? No, no negative signs there at all. Okay, let's look at the next one now. This one's going to be interesting. What's the arrangement for our one tiles? 1 by 1. That's the only way. Arrangement for the 2 tiles. Let's do a 1 by 2. So what do we have to be careful of here? What's the trick part? Somehow you have to get -3. Go for it. Work it out. See how you get -3. So the only way to do it is to make this group of x's all negative and this group of x's all negative. Okay, that way you get -3x. So -2x minus x, -3x. But does that make sense though for your one tile then to be positive? Absolutely, because this one tile is negative and this other factor, one tile is negative. -1 times -1 equals +1. So it does work out. What are the two factors? X minus 1 from the side, and what's up top? 2x minus 1. Okay, so this example just wanted to show you that your one tile can be positive, but your x's can both be negative. Okay, let's look at the next example now. So now you're going to have to draw your little multiplication grid. Okay. Now it's a little bit different because your one tile is negative. What's the only way to get a negative product? Negative times a positive. Okay. So that means that some x's will be negative, some will be positive. So your x squareds, no surprise, the same. Your 1 tile should be shaded in. Okay, try and figure out your combination of x's. So you have to get a sum of +1. Well, I know how I can do that. I can just shade that one in right there. There we go. Like I did right here, I cannot just shade one of them negative. I got to shade the entire group. Okay, in order for the multiplication to work, the entire group would be negative. And now I'd have negative 2x plus 1x, and I would get a negative x. Did I want a negative x? No. So, back to the drawing board, use that new thing called an eraser. And now, which group of x's should I make a negative? The one that has a single. So now I'm going to get 2 positive x's minus an x, and now I get the plus x that I need. Okay. Go ahead now, find your factors. So the factors are x plus 1, 2x minus 1. How many people got that? All right. Okay, so now we're going to up it a little bit. Now we're going to have some different arrangements. For the 1 tiles, our arrangements could be what? 1 by 2 or 2 by 1. And we also have to watch our negative sign. Okay, so we've got to be careful of that as well. What is our sum? +5. So what does the positive sign tell you? The sign of the larger number. Okay, so keep that in mind. Do your drawings though. And as you do your drawings and check your x's, you should see that happening, okay? There's only one way to put 3x down. Okay, try, if you have your tiles, arrange them. I always start like starting with my 1 by 2 arrangement, but if I start like that, I'm going to get 2x here, 3x there. So I have to make one of them negative, only one. Here, if I made the 3 negative, well, first of all, the 3 should be positive because it's the larger number. That's negative. I only get a plus x. Okay, so I said, no, can't be it. Go back to the drawing board. This time I'll just change the orientation and make it a 2 by 1. Here I would get a 6x, right? 3x times 2. Here I get an x. So the larger sign should be positive, the smaller one negative, and that works. 6x minus x equals 5x, and that's what we want. So the factors on the side then, on the outside, we will get an x plus 2. And on the top, we would get a 3x minus 1. Okay. Thumbs up, down in the middle, what would you say? Okay. So what we're going to do now is go into some harder case scenarios. So now, for the 6 tiles, what combinations do we have? 1 by 6, 2 by 3, or good. What about the 4? 1 by 4 or 2 by 2? For these ones, we don't bother with the 4 by 1. Okay, just scratch that off. Now check this out. Don't bother writing this down, but I just want to show you. You have a possible combinations of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible drawings. Okay, 8 possible drawings. Now, they often like the 1x4 more than the 2x2. So I usually tend to start with that rather than start with the 2x2. Okay, so 1x4, start your drawings, see if you can come up with the answer. Go for it. It's kind of guess and check or elimination, right? Because there's only so many possibilities. Oh, I found it. So the tile arrangement is 2x3 because that gives me 11x. After you checked your sum, now go and figure out what your length and your width are for your factors. Okay. So you get 4x plus 3 and x plus 2. Hands up, you got that. Okay, good. Now we want you to do factor number 6. Factor number 6. Oh, let's just pause for a second. What do you notice about the numbers in front of x squareds with these two questions? Numbers in front of x squareds are the same. What about the back one? 6 and 6. Those are the same? I wonder if the same drawing would work. Try it. Try drawing the same and see if it would work. Start by drawing. Don't just look at me. So one thing I have to do is I got to make sure my X's are shaded this time. So for your tiles, you'd have to flip them over. But the exact same shape would work. But because I have -1 tiles, I got to make one of these negative. If this is positive, that should be the sign of the larger number. So this has to be +8. That means this must be -3. 8x minus 3x equals 5x. So that's kind of cool. You don't change your shape at all. It's the same rectangle, but you got to flip your tiles over because your positive and negatives can play tricks. You can get different sums. Now figure out your factors. Go, watch out for your signs. Figure out your factors. So very, very similar. 4x minus 3, x plus 2. The only difference is one little sign. And that's why you got to be very particular and very, very careful. One sign completely changes things. Okay. Any questions? Oh, sorry to bore you, Hamza. Turn page. Oh, last ones. So these ones here, you got to make several drawings. What we're saying the product is +3. What could be the sums? Again, this number here can be positive or negative. So let's do some drawings. There's 2x squared. What's an arrangement of 3? 1 by 3. There's 2x squareds. And now another arrangement would be 3 by 1. Okay. So I'm going to use blue. This could be 2x, and this could be 3x. Or what else could work? And then my sum would be 5x. But what else could work? I'm going to use green now. What other numbers multiply to positive 3? Negative and negative. And so I could get plus or minus 5. Okay. I could have done 2 different drawings there. I just didn't feel like it. Are you guys okay with the shortcut? Okay, go ahead. Do the next one now. That's my other possible drawing combination. So I get a combination of plus or minus 7x. How are we supposed to write this? Plus or minus 5, comma, plus or minus 7. Okay, those are the different combinations. Any questions? You guys okay with the positive and negative stuff? Any questions? Please ask. This is hard stuff. Okay. Again, we usually use the letter K instead of a rectangle. Okay, B. B is going to be the same thing though, but now your product is -2. So 1 times 2, 2 times 1. But you got to watch out for your negative sign, because a negative times a positive is what you have to have. Okay. Figure out your possible sums. Again, you don't want to do this one without drawing your diagram. Okay. You figure out those possible sums. Watch out for your sign. Okay, so here I would have a possibility of positive 4x, negative 2x, or negative 4x and positive 2x, giving me plus or minus 2. Okay. Over here, down below, this could be a total of 4x times 2, so plus 8x, or minus 8x. And over here, I could get a plus x or minus x. So I could get plus or minus 7 for my sum. Is this the only drawings? No. What else can I do with my 4 tiles? Yeah, 2 by 2. Now this is kind of neat. It doesn't, this is a perfect square, you're going to see that it doesn't matter if I change the orientation of my 1 tiles. This is kind of unique for a perfect square. Right? These diagrams are exactly the same. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, it's just like it was spin sideways kind of thing, reflected. So this could be a plus 2x, or a plus, and this would then be a minus 4x. That gives you a minus 2. Or you could switch it up, plus 4x minus 2x, and that would give you a plus 2. This is plus or minus 2. Don't we already have that? Absolutely. We already have that right here. So when you're writing your answers, that's going to be plus or minus 2, comma. Do you think we should write it again? No, definitely not. Plus or minus 7. Okay, we already have plus or minus 2. How many possible answers are there for that question? 4. Okay, so there's 4 possible answers. And that's how you write it. So you're not going to double those things up. However, if I asked you for the factors, these two have very different factors. Their sums might be the same, but their factors would be very, very different. Okay, but I didn't ask for that. Okay, so you got to be careful. All right. Any questions? Okay, I did cover everything really good for the notes. Get started in the notes. You must draw. You have to draw diagrams. Diagrams must be drawn. You must draw, draw, draw. That's 5 times. I'll say it once more. Draw for your homework. That's 6. Okay. I better see drawings. That's 7. Shall you say it again? Start drawing. Go. That's 8. Okay. Get to work. Go.